Story time on the worst date I've ever had. This girl hits me up on Hinge on a Wednesday, around 8:45, so it wasn't quite demon time yet. She asked me, what am I doing? I said nothing. She says, let's grab dinner. Now, dinner as in white tablecloth and a server, or dinner as in some hole-in-the-wall Mexican restaurant? She said white tablecloth. So half of me was like, okay, this girl wants a free meal and she's trying to finesse me. Other half was like, you know what, maybe she just wants to get out the house and have a good time. It's not about finessing anybody. So I pick her up, we head to the restaurant, we get there like 20 minutes before it closes and they let us in. Thank you. We sit down, mind you, it's like 9:15, so I'm not hungry. I get an appetizer. She gets her own appetizer, a carnitas plate, and a margarita. So I'm thinking, yo, we better be splitting this bill. I'm not about to pay $8 for my appetizer and for her freaking meal as well. I ain't ordered nothing. Plus, it was her idea. All of a sudden, she gets up, goes to the restroom. 15 to 20 minutes goes by. At this point, I'm like, is this girl dine and dashing me? Like, is this real? I get up, go to the women's bathroom to check on her, open that door, look down, I see no ankles. This girl is gone. But I don't panic. I asked the waiter, hey, you see that one girl I was with? He said, yes, she's in the banquet room. I walk over, open the banquet room door. She's sitting there with another guy having a drink. Now, one rule I have about myself, I never let any girl, especially in the early talking stage, ever get me out of character. I looked over at them and said, hey, Z, let me know when you're done, and walked back to my table and pulled up Twitter and started just scrolling. She sat back down and said, hey, my bad. That was a friend of mine from high school. We just ended up having a good conversation. I'm like, yeah, whatever, bitch, whatever. Then the check comes. I'm expecting to hear keys jingling, think she's moving things out her purse. You better go for that wallet. She didn't. So I wait about a couple minutes. Then I say respectfully, hey, do you want me to take care of this bill or are we going to go half on it? She says we can go half on it. Thank God. She puts her card down. It's like $19 per person. Her card declines for $19. Now I'm like, yep, this was her goal, to finesse a dude out of meal, and it ain't happened with me. So she ends up asking another guy to send her money right in front of me. She gets the money, the guy comes over, takes her card, and it's all good. She then says, before we leave, I'm gonna give you a quick little date review. I'm like, what is this, Yelp? She says, you didn't open up my car door and you didn't pay for my meal. I'm running out of time, so I'll just finish up. I end up leaving her at the restaurant because she copped an attitude.
All right, y'all, I don't want to take too much of your time up, but I do have a story time. Last night, I took a girl out on a date. I haven't dated in 3 years. And I think this story might add to the reason why I'm made to be single the rest of my life. I picked this girl up. She wants Mexican food. I love it. This is off to a great start. I love Mexican food. We get to the Mexican restaurant. We are vibing. I'm telling you, vibing. And here we go. Here's where it starts. So, they have $10 margaritas. If you're of the drinking age, you know margaritas, Mexican restaurant equals peanut butter and jelly. Vibe, mix and match, baby. So yeah, these are large margaritas, $10. Is that not expensive? Maybe it's not. It is to me, because, golly. Anyways, here's where this goes. We get 2 down each. They're great margaritas. Great margaritas. We're having a great time, great conversation. She proceeds to order 8 more margaritas. By the time this woman was getting, I'm cool with you drinking. I'm cool with paying for it. 3 to 4 maybe. I mean, baby, they're $10. Once she gets to 5 or 6, I start giving her. She don't care. I swear to you, this girl she was a fish. She was a fish with how she was drinking these margaritas. I was in shock. By the time she got to 6, 7 and was like kind of normal, I guess. It was a first date. I think she was normal. I don't know. But she didn't stop. And then here's where it hits me. I don't do math well, but I do know that 8 margaritas that are $10 each equals $80 on your end without tax, without the food. Are you kidding me? So I get this check. I pay for it, and I'm about to cry meanwhile while I'm looking at this receipt. I sign it. You know what she proceeds to say? She goes, I had the best time. I'm sure you did, Sally. You can't even probably walk straight right now if we stand up out of this booth. You just ordered. I'm single for life, man. Screw this. Screw love.
When folks say Atlanta's the worst place to date, they are not lying. Please believe them when people tell y'all this, because I just had the worst first date experience ever in my life. So I met this girl on a Tuesday night, and we agreed to lunch on a Sunday afternoon. By mid-lunch, I knew I was never going to talk to this girl ever again. And just to provide a little bit more context for y'all, Shorty told me she only been here for like 10 months. She's from New York, and so I don't know if New Yorkers are just like blunt like that, or if Shorty was just being rude as hell. But bro, she was crazy because she was on one from the minute the date started. So before we even get to the spot, I'm on the phone with Shorty and, just checking in and whatnot, and trying to flirt a little bit. I might have said something like, let me be your personal photographer or your personal stylist or whatnot. Shorty kind of spazzed on me a little bit. She was like, one thing you're not going to do is tell me what to wear. What you talking about, bro? So I kind of deflected it or whatnot. And she was like, that's one way. That's a fast way to get me not to come on this date. And bro, I had no idea what the fuck was going on, bro. So I deflected it. I'm telling myself we're gonna have a good time on this date or whatnot. So I continue pursuit to the spot, right? So we pull up to the spot finally, right? I ordered me a drink before she got there because she was already running late. I tell her where I'm at. I go get her, walk her back to my spot, having like a little mid conversation with her. First thing she tells me is, you talk too much. No clue what she's talking about. Don't even know what I said. All right. So mind you, again, just to give you a little bit of context, she said she wanted Caribbean food, so I offered that spot it was like a little food hall in Marietta. And they got like all these different kind of restaurants. I thought they had Caribbean in that restaurant. Turns out it was Mediterranean. Oops, my bad. So I made a mistake, but now Shorty is calling me a liar. She's like, oh, so you're lying? And I'm trying to figure out if she's just playing or if she's being for real. But she got on a straight face, no emojis, okay? No kind of LOL. So she's really making a big deal out of this. So much so that the bartender had to get involved, right? And the bartender was like, well, anybody could have made that mistake. It's the Anian at the end. Like, you get Caribbean and Mediterranean mixed up, blah, 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 blah. Could have happened to anybody, right? Cool. Now she's going back and forth with the bartender, talking about, how can you get it mixed up? They're two different geological locations. I'm like, bro, are you really doing this right now, bro? So she's going back and forth with the bartender. I got my drink. As I'm drinking my drink, she was like, so are you some kind of alcoholic? Again, I have no idea if she's being for real or not. I'm like, just off of one drink? She was like, well, you asked me what kind of drink that I wanted before I got here, or what kind of drinks did I like before I got. I was like, bro, is that not just a regular question? I'm asking you what kind of spot you like and what kind of drinks do you like, because I know spots, I know bartenders, and what is we talking about? So boom, the waitress, she finally brings us to our seats. I get another drink number 2. She's still over there calling me an alcoholic. She then says I must smoke cigarettes because my lips are black. Then there was like another instance where she got offended over her name because I asked her if she had any nickname and do people call you so-and-so. She was like, don't ever call me that because that doesn't match my complexion and whatnot. So I was like, bro, relax. I'm just asking because I'm the one, I don't usually say names if it's over 3 syllables. I'm sorry, I'm lazy with syllables. So she was like, oh, so you're a lazy man. I don't think you should be telling that to a girl on the first date. Bro, I'm like, I'm looking for Ashton Kutcher at this point, dog, because I know I'm being punked, man. So eventually we get to the part of the conversation where she's telling me about her sexuality. She told me that she's bisexual, which I did not know. She was like, I don't know if I told you or not. So, of course, I asked follow-up questions about, which would you rather date, between a man or a woman. She gets aggravated again, starts spazzing out a little bit. This is why I didn't want to tell you. I don't feel like explaining myself. I think men are just horrible. Men are terrible creatures. I'm like, bro, that's all I had to hear. So Shorty basically been biting and barking all evening, and I'm just trying to figure out where the energy came from, bro. But this was the last straw for me. Bro, we're having a conversation, and Shorty was like, randomly, she was like, can you not call me that? And I was like, call you what? She was like, don't call me nigga, and I don't appreciate being called nigga, and I don't appreciate how you've been calling women out of their name as far as homegirl, homie, bitches, and niggas. And I'm like, short, I have no idea what you're talking about. But I was like, you know what? If I said anything that offended you, I apologize. But you've been calling me nigga this whole time, so I'm kind of confused by this logic and how it upsets you. So of course, when I questioned her of her logic, she was like, why are you arguing with me? If a tranny and a non-binary person wants to be called he, she, or them, you're not gonna call them something that they don't want to be called, right? Bro, you brought the trans community into this? What the fuck are you talking about, bro? What? So then Shorty was like, if you don't want me calling you nigga, then you need to tell me so I can know not to call you nigga. And I'm just like, bro, I think, it's all good, bro. I think all this shit just went over your head. We can skedaddle. You don't even have to worry about me no more. Bro, so we get about that mug, walk into the car. I go home. And, bro, the only thing that really kind of pissed me off about that whole fucking date, bro, was I forgot my to-go box. Trying to get out of there in a hurry, trying to speed my ass up out that joint. I forgot my to-go box, bro. I forgot my food. I've been pissed ever since then. I think about that shit, bro. But if you look into a date in Atlanta, do not bring your ass down here, boy, because they ain't got nothing for you. No. So, long story short, somehow, some kind of way, I ended up on a date with a bisexual feminist who hates men, who is problematic, combative, complex, and I kid you not, y'all. I really feel like this girl only came on this date for a free meal, because there's no way you only came to insult me, be rude, and disrespectful. Because I just can't go for that. But
Let me tell y'all about the worst date I've ever been on. Spoiler alert, I get punched in the face. I met this young lady at Walmart, mistake. I don't even say nothing to her. She says something to me. Hey, excuse me. I'm thinking I'm in her way, so I just move. She stops and tells me, so you're not gonna ask me for my number? What? It took me a second. I was like, oh, yeah, I'll take your number down. So I hit her up and make plans for dinner and drinks. I knew it was going to be a bad night because she showed up already drunk. And every time she talked, she used the word respectfully for every sentence. Like respectfully, like respectfully. I don't know what word I used, but it was a pretty big word. And she stopped me and said, respectfully, like, you smart, huh? Like, I don't even know what that means. So there's 3 girls at the bar, and for some reason, they staring at us hard. She get mad at me like, you know these bitches? Why the fuck they keep staring? And you know me, I'm a natural born instigator. Don't put me in that situation. I'm in her ear like, yo, you looking like a chihuahua, all bark, no bite. You need to get up, go do something. Yo, she stands up and goes, bitch, you mad? I look like the Coke bottle and you look like the can. I already knew the date was over with. She was too drunk, so I'm gonna get my money's worth. I'm in her ear like, go over there, punch that bitch in the head. The staff comes, we get kicked out the restaurant. I'm thinking the night's over. She goes, nah, we about to go to this club, come on. As soon as we walk in, they're playing Spanish music, so she tells me, oh, come on, let's dance. Listen, I'm a top-notch hoe. I know how to dance. I don't know if she was just too drunk or didn't know how to dance, but it wasn't going good. Then she tries to take me off the dance floor and bring me to somewhere in the back to have like a moment and try to kiss me, but I'm not having it. I lie and tell her I gotta go to the bathroom, but really I went back to the dance floor. I see this fine-ass little Puerto Rican, Dominican thing going crazy, so I slide in. We start going crazy. In the middle of me dancing with this other girl, she comes out the crowd and shoves the shit out of me. And then she tried to snatch my chain. But you know my karate moves kicked in. She walks off. I'm mad as hell. I know the security guard at the club, so I tell him, yo, bro, how you gonna let these bitches snatch me up? He laughing like shit funny because I'm trying to be funny, but I'm also serious. As I'm talking to him, I see her by the stairs. And I go, there she go right there. Kick her out, bro. It's probably because I was playing too much, but he thinking I'm joking. So he walked straight up to her and put his finger in her face. This one? This one? My dumb ass go, yeah, that one. Kick her out. I turn around, start taking my victory lap. All I hear behind me is them heels. I turn around and all I see is, because I'm smiling so hard, she punched me right in the teeth. Security grabs her and throws her down the stairs, and I never saw her again. Sabrina, if you're seeing this, I'm sorry about the stairs and you can't dance.
So what's the worst date you ever been on? Don't worry, I'll go first. So there used to be this cute waitress that worked at Buffalo Wild Wings, right? And she would see my face all the time because I would come into the same Buffalo. Sometimes she was my server, but like she just knew who I was by my face. And I knew who she was. So one day on Facebook, she pops up as like a recommendation. I casually click the add button, move on, don't think anything of it. We're Facebook friends and Instagram friends for probably like a year before I actually slid in her DMs. Still have never said a word to each other other than her taking my order. But I was like, whatever, I'm gonna shoot my shot. Sure enough, she was like, all right, bet, like, I'm off on whatever, Thursday at like 7 if you're down. And I was like, cool. So Thursday comes around, or whatever day she had told me. And I was like, I'm gonna go chill with the homie at his house and just hang out to his house until she texts me that she's ready to go. Because she had told me that it might be a little later or a little earlier because of, work and serving. You just don't know when your last table is gonna be. So I'm hanging out at my friend's house and like 7 o'clock comes around, still haven't heard anything. I thought by this point I would at least get like a courtesy, hey, I'm gonna be a little late. Or hey, like, something came up. Give me a general idea. But 8 o'clock comes around and she's like, oh, I'm just getting off, so sorry. I gotta shower and go home and get ready first. Already irritated. I was irritated at like 7:30 that I hadn't heard anything. And then I got irritated that it was 8 o'clock and she was barely hitting me up. So then I hit her back and I'm like, so what time are you thinking? Crickets, don't hear anything. Then she texts me back at 9 o'clock talking about, I'm gonna be at this and this place if you wanna meet up there. Which was like 30 minutes from where I lived. And at this point, I'm debating on like just ghosting and not even going. Because I'm like, you were like 2 hours late. You're taking forever to respond. And now you're making me drive across town. But I wasn't doing nothing. And I was like, all right, screw it. Let's just see where this goes. So I get to the bar and she's sitting and talking to another dude who's crying. So I walk up to her at the bar, tap her on the shoulder, give her a hug, and sit on the stool on the other side of her. Because like I said, one dude is sitting on this stool, then it's her, then it's me. She says, what's up? And then she's like, Robert, this is so-and-so, so-and-so, this is Robert, this is my brother. And I'm shaking this crying man's hand. And then she turns to me and whispers, he just broke up with his girlfriend of 10 years, so he's really going through something right now. Okay. Why is he here? So we're trying to talk and get to know each other, but she has to keep like turning back to her brother to like check on him. So it's like, so where you from? What do you do? And then it's like, hey, you still doing okay? You okay over here? And this whole time, this awkward man is like on the other side of her, drinking a beer, staring at the TV, crying. And it's like, you can hear him, you can see him, and he's like listening to us. And we're just trying to get to know each other. So the whole date was awkward. And then she goes to the restroom at some point, and it's just like, so, how you doing? And we awkwardly had to like talk, but like, I'm like, bro, I know you don't want to talk to me, but like, it's just weird. So at the end of the date, or whatever you want to call that, about an hour goes by and she's like, all right, like, maybe it's time to head out. So I'm like, all right, cool. So we're walking out of the restaurant and then she's like, okay, well, I got to take my brother home. And I'm like, I'm thinking he came in his own car. She came in her own car. I came in my own car so we can go like our separate ways, Get rid of his crying ass. But she's like, I got to take my brother home. He's been drinking and, we rode together. Now I'm pissed again because I'm like, why did you bring me here? But I'm like, all right, whatever. Gives me a peck on the mouth and we just go our separate ways. So I'm driving home, right? And like I said, this is a 30-minute drive. As I'm pulling in the driveway, she's like, I wish you could have came over. So I'm like, I still can. Now the drive ain't that bad no more, you know what I'm saying? So she's like, nah, I feel bad. Like, I should just send you an Uber. And I'm like, you ain't got to send me no Uber. Like, I'll just come. Now, let's stop right there, right? Is that fair to assume that that was an invitation? Because, like, she didn't say, like, come over. But, like, if she was said she was willing to send me an Uber and I was like, don't do that. Like, I can just drive. Like, that's an invitation, right? So I drive 30 minutes back to that side of town because I know that's where she stays. Because while we were on our little date or whatever, she told me she stayed right around the corner. So as I'm pulling into the restaurant, I'm like, yo, I'm in the area. Like, where do I go? No response. I double text after a few minutes, like, yo, I'm right here by the restaurant. What's up? Then she responds, are you sure you're not tired? Mother. So then I call because I'm getting heated. No answer. Text again. No answer. So I went home. Everything about that was just like, ugh. And the next day she hit me up talking about sorry, like, my brother was going through things and I fell asleep. Man, just shut up.